Click the links to get a hold of me or to support the channel. How come nobody told me about Downcast? It looks like a sci-fi steampunk fantasy in the style of Pullman, David Brin, William Gibson, Alan Dean Foster. There are so many campaigns out there that I can't keep track of them. But Downcast by Sweetie Clint Stoker is up my... Oh, this isn't Downcast. This is Downcast, and this kind of stuff is up my alley. I dig steampunk, sci-fi, dystopian, post-apocalyptic stuff. So if you guys know of any of this type of stuff in Comicsgate or under the penumbra of Comicsgate, please let me know in the comments. Or if you're a small creator and you want to do an interview, drop me an email, we'll figure it out. Keep in mind that I've never done an interview with a creator before, so it'll probably be pretty awkward and uncomfortable. But there's only one way to get over that, and that's just by jumping in. Clint is a very smart, reflective guy who has obviously put a lot of thought into his work and created an intelligent story that reminds the reader of the golden age of science fantasy. But I have a question. Where are the jugs? Just because you have a high-class project doesn't mean that D-cups are haram. Fun bags and tight asses are an integral part of comics. We don't need B-cups, we need at least gravity-defined C-cups. Just something to consider for Downcast 3. I think it's a mistake to try to placate the SJWs by cutting back on the sex appeal. You just don't understand SJWs. Just giving a girl B-cups isn't enough. They want her gay, trans, Irish, and a disabled midget from Palestine who wears a hijab but screeches about the patriarchy in the West. Whatever you do for them will never be enough. As a rule of thumb, it's always better to write what you know. If you don't know what a trans, vegan, Wicca, poly, demi-femme girl is, then don't bother including it in your story. The thing about the BLT people is that since they don't know who they are, they'll never be satisfied. You can't give someone something when they don't know what they want. Keep in mind that 99% of this cultural Marxist stuff isn't real. Its main goal is to destroy and weaken the West by causing division and pitting groups against each other, which they have done very successfully. Though to be fair, people have started to fight back. There are some deeply red-pilled people out there on social media who are very woke on all sorts of issues. The reason SJWs don't create is because to create is to take a position, and when the paradigm is shifting so fast, they're terrified to take that position because in a very short time, the cultural norms will have shifted yet again, and they'll be found guilty of heresy and burned at the stake. It's a form of, learned helplessness, where so many avenues are possible, areas to explore are marked dangerous due to political incorrectness, that the only safe topics they're left with is German man bad and Trump is literally Beelzebub. So you can never please them. And the irony is, even when you give them what they claim to desire, they don't actually want it. They want to loudly proclaim that they want some girl power film like Charlie's Angels, but these people of soy won't go to the theaters because they don't actually want Charlie's Angels or Ghostbusters 2016. They want T&A and tall, handsome Prince Charming like everyone else. But their puppet masters have convinced them that these things are wrongthink, so they pretend not to desire these things. My point is, don't try to meet them halfway. Just create exactly what you want, and I'm not just speaking to the right of center, but to the mods and left of center also. Because if you're a Democrat, then a socialist will tell you to check your privilege, who in turn will have a communist put him in a gulag, who in turn will be put up against the wall and shot by the dictator, who ultimately will be controlled by the bankers. You can't satisfy NPCs who don't know they're being manipulated. Hey, the media lies, right? Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the Lion Media says Orange Man bad. Whoa, Bianca, hold it right there. We know Orange Man bad. Why? Because CNN told us, but the media lies. Right, but we want to believe them when they agree with us. Hey, Mike, the Earth is probably about 4.5 billion years old. Whoa, Bianca, that's just crazy talk. Never mind. So make your comic book girls look like whatever you want, because it's your creation, it's your universe, and the SJWs are never going to buy it anyway. Cash grab is the degeneracy that Comicsgate needs, now, more than ever. So I've got a dumb question. If I want Cash Grab, Lonestar, and Downcast, can I order them all together and save on shipping? Can't you guys all get them done and shipped at the same place? If you did it that way, couldn't I save $20 on shipping instead of paying, $10 for each? It's just something to consider because I'm not made of money. I keep hinting that I want free comics and people keep telling me to kiss their ass. So I got kicked off another Twitter. I think it's like the fourth, but honestly, it's probably for the best. Twitter gets weirder and weirder as America heads towards the big boogaloo and World War III in Europe. There is something going on in Twitter. The Antifa kids are labeling people they disagree with as Nazis, then saying that they need to be killed. So it's not a death threat exactly, but it is political intimidation. It's a clear way of threatening moderates or right-of-center people with violence for their political beliefs. And Twitter's okay with it. In fact, Twitter kicks off conservatives 10 times as often as liberals. So even when conservatives try to present their views, they are censored. Take a look at the ratio of verified liberal to conservatives accounts. It's 100 to 1. Part of the reason is that 99% of the media is extreme left-wing, and Twitter verifies all their accounts, no matter how small they are. Another creepy thing they do is first unverify right-of-center people who offend them, then they kick them off the platform entirely. The social media platforms will team up to ban wrong thinkers who are red-pilling too many people. Social media is the new town square. There is no alternative platform to spread views. Think about this. If some racist says one group of people do X, and you truthfully hop in there and say, no, the stats say that Y group does that, Twitter will kick you off for hate speech because Group Y has a protected status. Think how that evolves into hatred against the first group. You notice that I have to be ambiguous and avoid certain hot words, or YouTube will kick me off also. What happens is that this moves the political window further to the left, which is the goal of the social media platforms. Trump will be the last even slightly right-of-center president because the south of the border immigration is turning America blue. Demographics is definitely destiny. This kind of talk is frowned upon on YouTube. But if we can't talk about it here, where can we talk about it? Better go back to talking about Brie Larson or Star Wars. Anyway, congratulations to Cecil's cast grab. The dude is funny as hell, so the comics should be excellent. Plus, we need to support Cecil so he can stay on YouTube and probably drink himself into a new liver. Congrats to Downcast by Sweetcast, Lonestar by Mike Miller, and Doug Tennapel's Worm Book. I know there's some butthurt between Ethan and a bunch of other people in Comicsgate, but aren't we all on the same side here? I thought it was us against the SJWs. Every time I hear the people fighting, I just roll my eyes and sigh. I know the guys are in some disagreement, but to hear some people laugh at the misfortune of Doug and Mike just leaves me with a sick feeling in my stomach. That kind of cruelty, I just can't understand it, and I'm not Doug Tennapel's biggest fan. But just because he's some kind of Smuglas doesn't mean that I don't want his campaign to do well. Is that what Comicsgate has come to? Making fun of the misfortune of others? Don't get me wrong, I love making fun of Smuglas as well, but not to the extent of laughing at his misfortune. That's a side of Comicsgate that I never expected to see. Edwin, Mike, Doug, EVS, and a bunch of other people had a mild difference of opinion about religion. Big deal. Can't we just agree to disagree like adults? To laugh at someone like this is pretty sick. Just my 2 cents. I like Comicsgate. I know some of these dudes say they aren't Comicsgate, but they are. Come out of the closet and embrace your Comicsgate-ness. Come out of the closet, Mike. Comicsgate is just SJW free comics. All these guys are Comicsgate whether they like it or not. I think they feel that EVS is so tied in with Comicsgate that they want no part of it. Sure, EVS is Comicsgate, definitely. But so is Doug and Mike and whoever else. Guys, you're all Comicsgate. Just accept it and move on. It's not like it's a cult where everyone gets naked and daisy chains each other on the weekends in a cocaine-fueled frenzy. Human Cecil Pete, I think Anna is going to take that first shot, which is awesome, right in front of Renfremus. If Renfremus had D cups. Okay, Doc, what do you want? This is going to do amazingly well. It's probably jumped up since I looked at it last, so it definitely does not need any assistance. It's going to get to 6 figures, no problem. Okay, this is what I'm talking about right here. See the Megalopolis woman on the right? Her cup overfloweth. That's what comics is all about. That's what comics should be about. Hot chicks, cool people doing impossible tasks. Listen, the SCWs whine about these impossibly beautiful women in comics, but they never seem to mention that the dudes all look like they're just, 5% body fat, jacked on growth hormones and DECA. Listen, those aren't realistic bodies, male or female. So if you're gonna whine about hot chicks, you're gonna have to whine about these hot dudes too. And I mean, ultimately, do you want to see a comic book full of just potato-shaped people who look like I don't know, EVS and Gail Simone? No, comics. No, that's not. Nobody wants to see that. That's gross. Diet, guys. Diet. Seriously, eat less at night, especially, and introduce yourselves to the vegetable aisles. Anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe, send me email, BiancaZombie602@gmail.com. Click the links for Discord, buy me a coffee, look at the Teespring t-shirt design, send art for the channel, or if you want to create a t-shirt, we can do that too. Guys, I will see y'all next episode.